Okay guys, today we're going back to some familiar territory and revamping my Super Mario Bros. Scene from the original game. Last time I did this, I went in depth on the game design for the very first level, 1-1. This time, I'm going to focus a bit more on the color choices and subject composition in the piece itself that makes this scene work for me. Last time, I also ended up beating the entire blue sky background, but today we're going to go with my preferred method of mounting on canvas. I love how having that smooth painted background makes the beadwork pop all the more. Let's get started. Or should I say, let's go! Something you're going to be noticing in this piece right off is that I'm using a healthy amount of AL. And no, that's not Abraham Lincoln. Weird guess. It's artistic liberty. This exact layout doesn't appear in the game. Mario and Luigi will both be on screen at the same time, and I'm letting this Goomba pass right in front of a warp pipe. Unspeakable, I know. But this is part of what can differentiate your work from others. Don't feel bound by the rules of the game just because we're using sprites from the game. The Goomba is light brown, black, and white. The pipe is dark green and slime. The piranha plant is dark green, butterscotch, and white, with the blocks being black, sand, and tangerine. You've seen me make these blocks a few times before, and I've always gone with the more accurate rust. But, like I said, artistic liberty time, and I want this piece to pop to the point where it's actually a bit more bright and colorful than the original game. Remember, just because they were limited in their color palette in 1985, doesn't mean we have to be. The Spiny is butterscotch, red, and white. Mario is butterscotch, red, and light brown, with 2 cheddar for his overall buttons. They're in front of a bright green hill with black outline. In comes Luigi, who is butterscotch, dark green, and white, with 1 cheddar button, in front of a slime-colored bush. Notice how the piece is kind of framed with the dark green and slime colors bookending either side. I love that. Here's my boy Lakitu, who's butterscotch, dark green, and white. The item block is going to be tangerine, yellow, and black. The brick block is just tangerine and black, with a dark green vine popping out. The mushroom is butterscotch, red, and white. Superstar is cheddar with red eyes, and the coin is yellow and black with a light brown accent in there. Finally, the cloud is white and sky. Now, if the question mark and overall direction of our characters didn't give it away, I've been making these pieces backwards on the board, so we'll fuse the beads on the back of the perler pieces in order to display the clean, unironed side. I tend to go back and forth on which style I prefer, to be honest. I think the fully melted side looks a bit more like pixels, but occasionally you have a bead melt funny or even get some wrinkles in larger pieces from the ironing paper. That can be a bit of an eyesore. So typically when it's larger pieces like this, I go with the unmelted side for display. Smaller pieces are less risky and much easier to control. As always, the choice is yours. But be sure to put them under some big heavy books while they cool. Once they're ready, we mount them to this blue canvas I spray painted earlier. I'll go ahead and get the biggest piece out of the way because that's going to act as our guide for the smaller pieces. Be sure to line up those edges. This is on a 12-inch by 16-inch canvas, which is 62 by 82 beads. I recommend setting the pieces right on there and taking your time lining them up just how you want them before gluing them all down. As you go along, be sure to pull away any of those little flyaway strands of hot glue so they don't get glued down. Then, you're done! I tried to fit as many Mario elements in this one as I could without it getting overcrowded. I feel a little bad that the Koopas didn't make the cut, but it was either a Koopa or a Spiny, and since I knew I wanted Lakitu up there, the Spiny just made more sense. Hopefully that Superstar lands on Luigi in time. Having a Koopa there would have been a green overload, and I prefer the red to mirror Mario. There's almost a warmth to the center of the piece that expands out to a cooler green, and then finally lightens up at the edges. Because, with the exception of the coin, which is still bright yellow, there's this element of white in each corner of the piece to brighten up the borders. I also like the consistent use of butterscotch throughout the piece. We could have given the brothers more sand-like skin tones or made Lakitu cheddar, but showing some restraint on the color choice keeps this feeling like the classic game. Thanks as always for watching. Click the link in the description and head over to Pixel Art Shop to get the pattern to make your very own. If you ever want to recreate my work, always feel free, and I'd love to see it. Tag me on Instagram, or whatever social media platform we're using. Maybe you're watching this 10 years from now, I don't know. Catch you next time, guys.